Hello, friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Indie Thursday stream. This week we are going to be continuing Higurashi by starting off Tatarigoroshi. I have no idea how long this is going to take, so you may want to ignore the bit there that says the shortest scenario. We'll see how long it takes. I also really can't remember this this arc at all, so it'll be fun. We haven't yet come across the scene in the manga that scared me more than anything else. For some reason I thought it was at the end of Tatarigoroshi, but I was wrong. There's two scenes that I remember from the manga which really scared me. One of them I don't want to spoil because it's really well done, and it still freaks me out when I think about it. And the other one was Mion appearing in the hospital. But we're wiping the slate clean from the horrors of last week, or last game. There's going to be no murders, just fun. That's what's going to be happening this time around. We are just going to enjoy ourselves. I realised I did a stupid. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. Definitely didn't fuck that up before I swapped over to the gameplay. Yeah, without any further ado, let's get on with it. Higurashi when they cry. Turn the audio up a little bit because it appears to be very quiet. Let us start. Dum dum. Curse killing chapter. Man, curse or coincidence? How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You'll probably not even be able to make conjectures. Unfortunately, I know the answer. Well, no, I don't really, actually. I sort of know the answer. What I'm saying is I don't really have any conjectures at this point. It's difficult, like, because this game never says for sure, like, this, how do I word this? If I was playing a fantasy game, I would say almost definitely curse. The fact that this is meant to be set in our world means that I think it's, I don't know. But I mean, I think I think the strongest I feel is people who believe in a curse act, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. People believe there's a curse, so they act in a way that makes the curse happen. Anyway, let's actually just start instead of me. God, I hate that so much. That stupid child laughing noise is so bad. The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had naught to do what was happened outside the well. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. Depicting... I've never been able to understand what that's... AD 1983, the early summer of the 58th year of the Showa era. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. No, I should pause that, whoops. Various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartments lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the sides of roads, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily, but in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat, even as flattery, pulled up to a two-story apartment complex and stopped there. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it?" "Oh, you got that right. Feel like I'm going to boil out here." "All right, landlord. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said." "Ah, sorry. Fluorescent lights, right? I completely forgot." "No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning." "Wait, what's this? It reeks. Did the sewers get backed up again?" "Do something about it, landlord. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long." "You'd still look plenty lovely plugging your nose, my dear." Gross. There was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth got caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime. "Could you tell the municipal office about it? The drain will end up buried at this rate." "Well, yikes. It's completely blocked. It'll start back up if you poke at it with a stick." A man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. Must have planned to take it into the drain and clear it out. "Ah, wait, landlord, stop that. If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it'll smell terrible." "It smells as if it's clogs and smells as if it's mixed. Which should I choose?" He shoved in the drying pole into the filth on the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste. Gah, it's a dead cat. This is a health centre's job. Cats and dogs smell awful when they die. Bamboo pole's not going to do much good. Garbage bags, old clothes, they threw all kinds of stuff in there. And is that a duck I see? Well, of course it stinks. Nerve of some people. The drainage channel was already unsanitary. What was a little more garbage at this point? A stream of such imprudent people was never ending, and now the channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. Gross. Two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. Gah, got maggots, eh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in. What, landlord? What's that? What? Just more garbage. Landlord, that's... Huh? Ah! A dead body, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hello. Good work today. Ah, what a terrible stench. Hey, someone cover this thing with a tarp. It's in plain sight of the two-floor houses. Identity of the deceased, unknown. Sex, female. Age, estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death, about 2 or 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death. Naked, too. Figuring out who she is would be rough. Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing. Probably weighed it down so she'd sink in. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. But why did drainage sewer of all things? Would have been better under an overpass or in the mountains, you know? And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all. Did they do it? Should she be found? Is there a warning or something? A slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do these sorts of traditional punishments? Ask Shige in Section 4 if he's had any trouble with Yakuza. On it, sir. Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't... Gross. The cut's pointing out like that looks sort of like the salad soba you can get in Kyoto. Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodles will pop out. See? Ugh, please give me a break. Intestines were pulled out and had her ears and nose cut off. It's definitely not how I want to go. Fingers are in a bad state too. There are long nails stuck in all of them. On both hands. What kind of torture was this anyway? Oh, I'm gonna have to put a gore warning on the very first video in this series. Lovely! I'm actually gonna put one in the title. Just in case. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to skip that, but whatever. I wanted to tab back into the game. What have I done? Oh well, we skipped the opening cutscene by accident, I guess. Anyway, what a brilliant cold open, huh? Those opening cutscenes, I believe, are from one of the ports. I don't think they're from, well, I know they're not from the PC versions, translated versions, so... Meanwhile, the most relaxing time during the day? Lunch, for sure. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always, and we all ate together. Okay, let's see. Oh my! Mion, if I may say, your lunch looks quite appetizing today. Hi Nagels! How are you? I hope you're doing well. You haven't missed much. All that's happened so far is we had a brilliant cold open with a discovery of a body. Much like as if this were a Ding Dong Rumpus. I'm glad to hear it. That's always good. I am absolutely exhausted. I feel like I got no sleep all week. So hopefully I pass out tonight. Ooh, I'm intrigued. I really can't remember it in the slightest, so... Oh my, Mion, if I may say, your lunch looks quite appetizing today. There's so many different things. It's wonderful. Stoker and Rika looked at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Let's have a look. Whoa! I just packed in some leftovers from last night. All the elders were having a drinking party at my house yesterday. I managed to nab some of what they didn't eat. So that's why they all look like snacks you could have with sake. They're but leftovers, mere scraps of food, but arranged in a bento box so cleanly, they look impressive. Looks like part of a full-course meal at a high-class restaurant. People seem to decide if they like things, mainly based off their first impression. So I thought maybe the taste of a bento would be proportional to how pretty it was when you opened it. You may seem unrefined, Mion, but you're positively splendid at arranging food like this. Her room is nice and tidy too. Mion is a lot more organised and polite than everyone thinks. It's all the same once it's in your stomach. I'd have thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she had this kind of taste. You can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. Waggles. Waggles eyebrows, not just in general. She is a club president after all. Hi, Pixie! I hope you're doing well, Pixie. I hope you are having a good day. All you've missed so far, Pixie, is that much like as if there were Ding Dong Rumpus, a body has been discovered, and now we're having lunch. You know, Raina, your lunch always has like an art to it. Like it has a rabbit-shaped apple slices and carrot flowers and stuff. Raina's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like she always puts her heart into it or something. It wasn't just good, it made your insides all nice and warm. Ooh, exciting. Yep, I had my, I had the long weekend for Easter last weekend. And luckily the week after next is a bank holiday. So I get a whole week of holiday. I can't go to Amsterdam, so I'm just taking my holiday instead. I could cancel it and then have more when I leave this summer, but I feel like I would go insane. So, thanks. It's not quite as good as Mion's, but I wanted to make it really cute. Cooking isn't about skill, it's about love. In that sense, I don't even come up to your feet. Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Raina put her heart and soul into making it. That's what her bento was like. The taste isn't all that counts for a bento. How it looks also matters. I suppose we must learn from this too. Huh. So let's see, Stoko and Rika's up-and-coming bento. Whoa. Ta-da! Whoa! Yesterday our neighbours shared some meat with us, so we ended up grilling it for our bento. These ones too, they had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance it was too impactful for a girl's bento. But when you thought about eating with all your friends, it brought more than enough colour to the table. Crinkles, it's alright, this game is set in the 80s. There are inverted commas allowed to be weird and sexist, because it's Japan in the 80s. Wow. First it looks like the kind of crude bento that a dog would eat, but there's so many different things in here. Like boiled spinach and soy sauce and stewed hijiki. Rika, you're really good at this kind of unaffected cooking, huh? Yep, I think Rika will make a great wife when she grows up. I have a tight hold on my future husband. A husband for Rika, huh? First it sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like married life with her would be anything but normal. Grim. Gross. But really everyone was amazing. They're all so young and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. I could really only cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Your boy cooks I cook a meal every day. Not always a good meal or an important meal, but I do the cooking. I make a food. Frankly, I respect them. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people. Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mum was saying something really important. With a hysterical groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once. Okay. I hit the button too many times. I think we're going to stick with these ones for now. What's wrong? You'll make us choke if you shout like that so suddenly, you know. There's rice coming out of your nose, Toko. I'd forgotten. All this stuff about cooking for yourself, it applied to me too. Dramatic music time. Keiichi? Hi, Haku. It's John. Thank you very much for the host. It is very much appreciated. Yes, I should probably turn that off. I'd completely forgot about it, to be honest. Keiichi, your mum and I need to go to Tokyo again for business. Yeah? Sleepy. Your dad's meant to fail a little right before an event he was taking part in. It's a very important event and they need someone to fill in. Well, Dad does what he has to for his job. So your dad and I, you see, we need to go to Tokyo as fast as we can to help with the event. We might have to stay there for a few days, depending on what happens. Sounds annoying. While we're gone, we won't be here, so you need to make your own meals yourself. You okay with that, Keiichi? I'll be fine. Humans can do anything when they're desperate. Is that so? That's relief. You can at least cook rice, right? And you can make miso soup as well. Then you can just buy some side dishes and you'll have a meal. A meal? Yeah, I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot of boiling water too. Well, I'll think of something. If you can cook for yourself, then you don't need as much money, do you? No eating out, it's too expensive. You're at the age where you should learn about cooking and personal finances now, after all. Yep, I'll get by. Yes, whatever I did wrong last time, didn't happen this time round. No, I won't. What was I thinking? I was half asleep and I made such crazy empty promises. Just like manga characters always do at times like this, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Huh. Keiichi, your parents sure have it rough. Anyway, you need to keep things in order while they're gone. Food. My parents are here. I have to make it all myself, you know? There's a huge emergency. Should you not just simply give up and cook for yourself? Keiichi, did you not make a fabulous curry dish for the curry party previously? Listen here. My mum taught me how to cook that curry when we camped, and it's the best I can do. Can't eat curry 3 meals a day. I mean, it's just junk food in the first place. There's no nutritional balance whatsoever, and it's just completely... stupid shh. Miono's Toko put their hands over my mouth. A moment later, the door rattled open and Ms. Chie, a known curry maniac, suddenly poked her head in. Did I just hear somebody bad-mouthing curry? No, we didn't say anything. Everyone's faces went totally white, and they all shook their heads in denial. I really do have such a strong affection for the, like, slapstickness of the, I'm actually gonna take that out there. Hang on. Sorry, I have really strong affinity for like how slapstick the start of these are. The hang on there was because I could hear my neighbour thumping all the way down the stairs. I don't know what it's about. But they're being very loud. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just a teacher's ordinary stare. Is that so? Must have been the wind. Chie gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. May have been shouting, but for her to hear it all the way from across the hall in the teacher's lounge, the teacher is terrifying. Keiichi, you can disparage other foods all you want, but you might want to stay away from curry. At least as long as you live in Hinamizawa. Okay, I'm sorry. Hiccups. That's what I said. But still, I can't have curry for every meal. And cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you ate it for every meal, you get bored of it pretty quickly. Rice and miso soup and a good side dish? Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like. Why can't you just try to cook for yourself? Rice you make yourself is really good. This old man thinks it's more a pain than good. Wish I had a rice cooker. But experience it every once in a while might be nice. That's right, life is all about experiences, right? But when you cut your fingers or burn yourself, it's so sad, so very sad. With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like I maybe could do it if I tried to, though approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I'll have to learn at some point, since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad. Pretty uneasy about it, but you're right. If I don't understand how to cook a few things around here, then I won't be in good shape the next time my club does a cooking showdown. Oh, you are correct. Clever trick of yours in the last curry contest won't work every time, after all. As if scorning me, Stoker ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in a certain do-or-die curry showdown. And what are you so relaxed for? You relied entirely on Rika back then, didn't you? What did you cook at the time, exactly? Put a bag of salt in Raina's curry, a bag of salt in Mion's rice, and you flipped over my pan. I relapsed into my grudge over the last curry showdown. For now, I calm my incredible anger by pinching Stoko's ears. Ow! My attack was because that's what they were doing for a club. I may not look like it, but I can do a little bit of cooking. Can you now? Even when you couldn't peel one character in the showdown and had to get Rika to do it? Don't be so daft. People get better every day, you know. If you think I'll always be crummy at cooking, then you're quite mistaken. Right, Rika? I have to watch or else I get worried about the pot and the flame. Sometimes you forget to turn the gas off too. Been there, done that. Haha. Everyone burst into laughter. Shouldn't be an issue with cooking. Even I would never do that. So I have an electric hob, which takes ages to heat up, but once it's warm, it stays warm for the next 10 years, which means that I can turn the ring off and then, you know, put something down near the ring, and I've had plastic like containers start melting because I put them near the hob because it gets so hot. My oven does the same thing. My oven takes about half an hour to warm up, but once it's warm forever. It's a hell in summer. I don't want to hear that from someone who eats nothing but cup ramen. Forgotten the voice that I did for Stoko. But Stoko can cook pretty well for herself, you know? Reina, it's fine. You don't need to force yourself to cover up for her like that. No, I'm not trying to cover for her or anything. It's just that Rika's cooking is by far the best of all of us, so hers doesn't stand out. Stoko's mastered the basics too, right? At the very least, I can cook rice and miso soup. Well, she can't quite tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, though. They're both the same anyway once you boil them. Broccoli has flavour. Stoko erupted into anger, making 2 fists and swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that. The others don't matter. I cannot stand being laughed at by you, Keiichi. Yes, perhaps I do lag behind everyone else in terms of cooking skill, but at least I'm confident I never lose to you, Stoko. Not to you, at least. What was that? You have the gall to say you're confident? That's what's daft here. Might not seem like a good cook, but I can take turns with Rika, you know? I can cook just fine for myself, thank you. I see, I see. Good for you, being able to cook. I'll buy some candy for you as a present later. Patted Stoko on the head while I made fun of her. Stoko seemed to know I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly. You don't believe me, do you? Anyway, I can cook far better than you can, Keiichi. I see. Then if you can tell me the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it. Cauliflower is disgusting, broccoli is slightly less disgusting. The green one is broccoli. Or no, the yellow one. Cauliflower is blue, red, green. Come on now. What colour is broccoli? Blue, red or green? It's not a television. Come on, say it, say it. So you can cook just fine without knowing what colour broccoli is, right? Good for you, good for you, good for you. Can't do a good impersonation. Stupid Keiichi. Oh, it was nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. If you're gonna act so smug, then you can surely show something better than Stoko, remarked Mion, giving me just a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking, but the situation carried me along, and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration. Just you wait. Tonight, I'll make the best darn meal you've ever seen. I'll even make a little too much and pack it for lunch tomorrow. You'll be so surprised you'll fall over. That sounds like fun. I can't wait for lunchtime tomorrow. Rika patted me on the head. Words of can't wait sounded so transparent. Reina's excited too. Promise I won't laugh no matter what you make. Alright, so maybe I'll go all out my bento tomorrow too. Then let's do this. Let's have a bento showdown tomorrow. As a club activity, of course, and we'll throw in a punishment game too. My, what an ingenious idea that is. How is that, Keiichi? I'll give you one chance to back down. Stoker wiped her tears and snarled at me, as if this was a chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad? I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty outpanned. Oh, I apologise. Now's my chance? But what came out of my Keiichi Maebara's mouth was a statement so reckless it even frightened me. Yeah, you're on. My bento tomorrow will knock you right out of your shoes. Whoa. Everyone raised their voices in surprise at my bold, confident reply. Now I've done it. What have I done? I'm so irresponsible. So, Mion, what sort of fantastic punishment game will we have to play if we lose? Stoker grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game. Hoo-hoo. Let's see. Okay, how about this? Whoever loses tomorrow bento showdown, during lunch break tomorrow, has to go up to Chie Sensei she's eating in the teacher's lounge and say bad things about curry. Mion, that's... How terrifying. Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was. Chie is such a maniac about curry, she'd risk her life for it. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. God, can you tell I'm tired? Abruptly, my body just shut down for a second in the middle of that sentence. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika spoke. Tomorrow's contest will be decided by skill. Reina and Mion's Toko, everyone nodded deeply in agreement. Although Keiichi's problem might be his own dinner tonight rather than tomorrow's bento. Oh ho ho! Ha! How disappointing that you can't witness what an amazing dinner I'm gonna make tonight. I'll let you have a glimpse of it in my bento tomorrow, so look forward to it. That is quite a lot of grandstanding. You do know what will happen if you come to us with something terrible, right? Hoo-hoo. I just can't wait. How much trouble you be with Miss Chie tomorrow? Stoko. I've forgotten how to read sentences the way that humans read sentences. And that vine of a guy who stops the sentences in odd times, like, can I take your son out to the park? Yes, I can't wait either. To see you, Keiichi, grovelling before her and begging for forgiveness, saying it all with tears streaming down your face. Yes, I can just see it now. Oh, what was that? Ah! Both of us on the verge of tears pulled on each other's cheeks. Trying to muster all your desperation by placing yourself in a predicament. Keiichi, that's so manly. That isn't manly or anything of the sort. It's called being reckless. You can't even cook well. Reina believes in you. I'm looking forward to your wonderful bento. I'm looking forward very much to seeing Keiichi tomorrow as well. Their expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Toko a little. How did it come to this? Yeah, you'd better look forward to it. How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so unreasonable. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? And the bento showdown was tomorrow? No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about curry to Miss Chie's face, what'll happen to me? They just said Miss Sensei there. Whoops. The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. This game always makes me think of a song, Hot Heavy Summer by Ben Howard. Even though he's from, like, Dorset or Kent or somewhere like that. It just makes me think of that song. That entire day, up until school was over, the whole time. My meal tonight, my bento tomorrow were the only things on my mind. Now that I thought about it, made Mum seem amazing for planning three meals every day of the year. Complained before about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that was. More importantly, what am I going to do about the punishment game tomorrow? And in this episode, Keiichi learns a valuable lesson about being self-sufficient. Sometimes you eat the same thing for the entire week because it's what you have. Besides that, what am I going to eat tonight? Keiichi? Keiichi? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about stuff. About what to make tonight? Or about the bento showdown tomorrow? She hit the mark and I couldn't find anything to say. My facial expression made obvious the fact that she hit the mark. For tomorrow's showdown, I think that if you do your best to make a bento, you'll be fine. There's nothing superior to a bento you tried really hard to make all by yourself. Tomorrow's showdown is one thing, but what about dinner tonight? I might suddenly get food poisoning. Couldn't make any more bluffs. Exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Reina laughed in a shrill way when she saw me do that. Keiichi, you don't have any confidence in your cooking skill at all, do you? So when found out. Ugh. If it looks like you can't do it, no matter how hard you try, you can always give Reina a call. Really? But only if you try really hard first, okay? You can't rely on others without first struggling yourself. Reina seemed naive, but sometimes she was instructive. She didn't spoil She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. Reina always seemed like an adult in these moments. Kinda cause she is though. She's more mature than Keiichi for fucking sure and certain. If I absolutely can't do it, I'll call you, though the chances are extremely high. Go for it, yay! You were grandstanding so much to Stoko that you have to try your best. Hey, about Stoko, how good is she at cooking? She's at least better than you. That was so direct. Hit me pretty hard. You're making fun of her a lot too. Maybe you should have to struggle just a little, huh? Reina, you're pretty mean. Reina isn't all cute. Now that I'd provoked Stoko that much, I couldn't just make some crummy bento. I can't believe how loose-lipped I am. Okay, bye. Good luck. On the cooking, show everyone that you can do it if you try. Really try. Yeah. I waved my hand absently in response. Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Reina disappeared past the trees. The achievement for this first chapter is You're on Fire! Attempted cooking. So I'm intrigued. So 13 chapters. Cool. Right. I'm here. Fine. I'm desperate. So what? I may not know the ABCs of navigation, and I have neither a sea chart nor a compass, but still, one idiot has taken on the ocean of the Great Cooking Age alone. And his name is Keiichi Maebara. Let's go. Time to cook. My enthusiasm is peerless. If energy and recklessness was all it took, I could take over the world. However, there are plenty of things in the world that can't be achieved with resolution alone, and cooking was probably the top contender. Therefore, even if it was hastily prepared knowledge, I wanted something to help me. Made up my mind and fished through the kitchen cabinets. Was on the hunt for a cookbook. My mum should have had a few of them. For a complete amateur like me, first thing I needed was information. Just like you would cross the oceans needed a compass. For me, a cookbook was absolutely indispensable. Oh, here's one. The worn out wrinkled cover made it feel somehow reliable. Okay, as long as I've got this, it's easier to give it a shot than think about it, right? Anyone can cock the taste of a gourmet chef as long as they have a cookbook. Cookbooks are great. And as such optimistic thoughts filled my chest, I flipped through the pages. However... Whoa. Played with technical terminology like toys. I just couldn't see how to actually make things. You knew it all along, Keiichi Maebara. If anyone could make delicious food just by reading a book, then there'd be no such job as a gourmet chef in the first place. First off, it calls for 3 teaspoons, but which spoon is that? It keeps saying to use however much you like. How much exactly are you supposed to use? Stop using such obscure expressions. Strain out the water in a colander, add salt and pepper to taste? The heck is a colander? And strain it out, like stretching? You can't stretch water droplets like meat. God, Keiichi. Besides, how much salt and pepper is that supposed to be anyway? Aren't there any beginner-friendly guides in here? Won't do you any good to yell. Cool off, Keiichi Maebara. Think calmly, calmly. For now, I'll leave the side dish until after. The rice is more important. Have to cook the rice or I can't start. I know little about how to cook rice. I didn't cook it with my camping kit when camping all the time for nothing. I'll wash the rice. That should be enough water. And which switch is it? Oh, no worries, Pixie. Take care. Have a good evening. Say hi to Zora and the kiddies for me. And look after yourself. I was about to say have a safe trip home, and then I was like, hang on a second. Look after yourself, Pix. Is this a button? Oh, the lamp turned on. Yeah, fully automatic rice cookers are one of the 3 sacred treasures after all. Now please buy the rice cooker set. I pulled myself together and decided to take on the miso soup next. Miso soup I made at day camp was all the instant kind after all. Well, it'd be fine if I just melted the miso into hot water, no doubt. I'll boil the water and put in the miso. Huh? How much should I put in? See here. Use the proper amount according to the number of people in your tastes. Enough with the vague expressions. Fine then, I'll put in the proper amount. Crush the bag of miso in my fist and put half its contents into the pot. Was this really okay? Maybe this was a little too hearty? They do say miso soup is best when it tastes strong. Come to think of it, my mum's miso soup is a little thin. Maybe I like it better with this much in it. I said it loud as if trying to convince myself. Then, convinced by my own words, I nodded to myself. Alright, the rice and miso soup were probably fine. Next, the side dish. But what should I make? Something I could make that would add colour to the meal. That's it. Why don't I stir fry some vegetables? You can eat vegetables raw too, and they won't die from just a little bit of fire. It was so cute then, not realising the level of my thoughts had fallen to what would look great in a meal to what would be easy to make. There were quite a few vegetables in the fridge. What kind of vegetables go in a stir fry? Bean sprouts? Cabbage? Chives? Onions? Can you put cucumbers and lettuce in? For now, I grabbed a nearby cutting board, cut them into chunks and tossed them into a wok. This has gotten pretty exciting. Is the true worth of men's cooking? Hey, this is actually getting kind of fun. All of a sudden, there was a pile of vegetables in the wok. Right next to the salad oil. Glug glug went the salad oil. It'd be more exciting if I filled it to the brim. Whoops, a bit leaked out. Well, no point in worrying about something so minor. The great Keiichi Maebara's cooking is exciting. Okay, let's turn on the heat. Whew. Yep. Whoosh. Salad oil filling the wok to the brim caught fire, and flames reached up to the sky. Amazing. Maybe I can be an iron chef too. What if I'm really good at cooking with fire? Those words were spoken by delusion. I was saying something outrageously careless, but when the words came out, they sort of convinced me. Ha! Yes, I'm an iron chef. Ow, hot, hot, hot. Right as the crazy pillar of flame started to burn the ceiling, I finally realised that the fabulous cooking before my eyes had culminated into an actually life-threatening disaster. Wait, what? Could I have been doing something insane? The force of the flame grew stronger and stronger. Wait, what? What in the world are you doing? You must stop the flames this instant. Thwack. Somebody forcefully struck me in the back of the head. When I turned around to see what was going on, to my surprise, I saw Satoko and Rika there. Satoko? Rika? As I stood in wonder at the unexpected entrance, Satoko shoved me out the way and turned off the gas. Then Rika got a towel, soaked it in water, spread it out and placed it over the pot. She continued to soak more towels and put a second on, then a third. Once a whole bunch were piled on, the fire finally stopped. All of it had happened in a few moments. What's happened to me before is I've accidentally burnt the sides of dish towels on my horrendous hot hob. Having avoided a huge fire by a hair's breadth, the three of us gasped for air. Wait, what are you doing in my house? You're trespassing on private property. Yes, well, Keiichi, you've been caught red-handed in the act of arson. It was just about to turn to a huge building fire, wasn't it? I'd be very, very sad if Keiichi was homeless after this. And after pretending to be an iron chef, I finally began to take in the situation. So I really was about to set the house on fire? Is that not obvious? Just look at it. The ceiling is all sooty, is it not? Chimneys are the only thing that should be sooty. There's a British TV show called Sooty and something, and I can't remember what the something is, which has completely ruined my joke. Satoko was seriously mad at me. Maybe they saved my life. Big F. According to what they said, I was so absorbed in my fiery cooking that I hadn't noticed when Satoko and Rika rang the doorbell, but they could tell someone was home, so they came in to check. Thank goodness they did. Satoko and I hadn't come, the fire engines would have been going wee right now. Just like they are all the time around here at the moment. Keiichi, do you understand how serious this was? At some point, I'd sat down on my knees as I listened obediently. I'm sorry. You two saved my life. We thought we would come and see what a fabulous dinner you made, but as we thought, it's a mess. At this rate, we won't even need to look at your bento. You're mean. So you and Rika came all this way just to see what I'd make for dinner? Us being mean saved your house and your life. Is that not something to take to heart? Yes, I'm sorry, Satoko-chan. At this point, having shown them such a disaster, I couldn't exactly make any more bluffs. Completely surrendered. And yet you tried really hard on the curry. Where did the Keiichi from back then go? Jeez. I had all our underclassmen help me then, and just borrowed entire pots from the other teams. I didn't really cook anything. Keiichi, you cheated? Jeez, you might have been doing what our club usually does, but that was terrible. Pouring salt into the other team's pots seemed far more terrible to me, but Stoker was in control right now, so I couldn't respond. I obediently hung my head to her. By the way, Keiichi, this terrible pot, this wasn't supposed to be miso soup, was it? Stoker stared at the top, totally full of miso, with an awful expression. So I really did get the amount wrong. Judging by the look on Stoker's face, whatever was in the pot couldn't be called miso anymore. Forget the miso. The rice should be cooked just fine. Rice cookers these days are pretty convenient. Should be just about done. It's not cooked. See, the inside is still all watery. What? But I switched it on and this little light came on. Keiichi, the button you pushed was the timer button, okay? It's set for breakfast, so it won't turn on until tomorrow morning. So then what? In the end, I don't have a side dish or miso, or even rice. Couldn't make anything myself? Oh, serves you right. So, have you finally realised your place? Come, admit it. Say it. I, Keiichi Maebara, an all-bark and a much crummier cook than Stoko Hojo. I'm a terrible person and a crummier cook than Stoko. I beg your forgiveness. Rika patted my head, satisfied at the sight. Stoko laughed loudly in triumph. Completely lost. In the end, I talked big but couldn't make a single dish adequately. At this rate, I'll go without dinner. And tomorrow morning, no breakfast, and no bento for lunch either. Don't know how many days it would be before my parents returned, but at this rate, without a doubt, I'll starve to death. Eek. Of course, I'll have no bento tomorrow either. Eek. And I'm sure to get the punishment gave tomorrow. Eek. Meep, I should say. Rika kept patting my head with a smile on her face that couldn't possibly get any bigger. Stoko, completely appalled on how unsightly I looked, heaved a heavy sigh. Heavy to heave sigh. Adult men are just so pathetic, aren't they? Come on, please, move yourself. As I sobbed away, Stoko, displeased, brushed me aside, dumped the remains of the miso soup in the sink tidy, then began to rinse out the pot. Don't worry about it, Stoko. I can at least clean up after my own mess. Couldn't have Snoko clean up the cooking utensils I'd made a mess of, but when I tried to stop her, Rika pulled on my clothes. Keiichi, you can just be silent and watch. She grinned as she said it. Be quiet and watch. What are you saying, Rika? She meant just what she said. Keiichi, just be quiet and leave this to me. Stoko turned around and declared, seeming bothered. As if to say that amateurs should keep their hands off. Her annoyed expression was a little scary. Leave what to you? Stoko didn't answer. Instead, she spun back around and began to rifle through the pots in the refrigerator. Hey, wait, don't mess with them too much. If you turn the place inside out, my mum might get mad at me later. Would you just be quiet already? Men aren't supposed to enter the kitchen. Rika. Aye, sir. Stoko snapped her fingers and Rika got on her tiptoes, grabbed me by the back of the neck and started dragging me away. Fucking strong. Leaving Stoko alone in the kitchen, Rika dragged me back into the living room. Hey, stop, Rika. Let me go already. If we leave it to Stoko, the kitchen will be a disaster. Stoko came to see how she beat you today. It's her revenge. Revenge? Come to think of it, her face looked kind of grim. Eventually, from the kitchen, there was the sound of a faucet being twisted and a stove dial being turned. Began to hear the nostalgic sounds that made me envision dinner time, the fridge opening and closing, ingredients being cut on the chopping board. What did that mean? Stoko, was she cooking? Keiichi made fun of her quite a lot. Stoko wanted to show you that she can cook proper meals too. Just listening to it like this, there haven't been any sounds of blood spilling or bursting or explosions. At this point at least, she'd proven she was a more skillful cook than me. Ain't difficult, was it? And the cooking showdown with Stoko Hojo versus Keiichi Maebara looked like victory had already been decided. I recalled Stoko's slightly annoyed expression from before. I was making fun of Stoko too much today, wasn't I? she holding a grudge? We were just provoking each other with our usual back and forth, but I also think I maybe overdid it. At the very least, I shouldn't have made fun of Stoko, who could cook for herself, when I never cooked for other than for recreation before. Stoko wasn't holding very much of a grudge, but she came all the way to my house and pushed her way in. She's gotta be mad. I quietly took a peek into the kitchen. She definitely looked different than the usual bird-brained Stoko. Her eyes were sharp and her movements were brisk, to the point where it was a little scary. Then she must have noticed me, because she turned around and shot me an annoyed glare. I cringed in fear and hastily pulled my head back out. Fucking useless men, right? She's mad. She's totally mad. How will she take revenge on me? That's just Stoko being serious because she doesn't want to fail. She isn't angry or anything. How can you say she isn't angry? I've never seen Stoko be this frightening. Keiichi, I can hear that, you know. Sorry. I jumped at Stoko's angry outburst and faced towards the kitchen. Felt exactly like a kid who'd done something bad and gotten called to the teacher's lounge. You did do something bad, dipshit. Where do you keep the miso? The refrigerator's so big I don't see any of it anywhere. I'm sorry, the miso, it's on the middle shelf in the fridge at the back left of the lower rack. What is this? You need to close the miso package after you finish with it. It's getting the inside of the fridge dirty, isn't it? I'm sorry. Before I can look for something to wipe it with, Stoko wiped it off with a wet dish towel. I swear, how are men so bad at cleaning up after themselves? I shudder to think that you'll become an adult like this. Couldn't talk back to Stoko today. The only thing I could do was immediately lower my head and apologise. Stoko nitpicked and I apologised. A good smell began to fill the kitchen. This is how you prepare the miso for the soup. You scoop a little out with a ladle and break it up with chopsticks. It's important to add a little at a time and keep tasting it. Dumping the entire thing to the pot is absolutely outrageous. I'm sorry. I never paid attention in home ec class. You're pathetic. I swear. Men! Fucking me all over, right? I cowered at her annoyed sounding muttering, but looking at her like this, she seemed quite good at cooking. It'd just been overshadowed by Reina's and Rika's artistic abilities. Stoko's skills were clearly enough to get passing marks. Hey, as long as it's edible, that's all I care about. Will it give me food poisoning or make me feel sick? Hey, if you have time to zone out like that, then you can go set the table. Rika and I will be eating too, so set 3 places. On it. I hastily took 3 people's worth of dishes and such from the cabinets and headed to the dining room. When I returned there, I could hear laughter from a variety show on TV. Rika was sprawled out on the couch, watching TV and relaxing. When she noticed me putting the dishes out on the table, she came scampering up. Dinner time is soon. Dinner at Keiichi's house. Nippa. Rika, you're in a good mood. That's a pretty big difference from Stoko. Stoko isn't in a bad mood at all. She's enjoying herself more than she has in a long time. Enjoying herself? Seriously? She's like how she was when Hanini was with her. It really has been a long time since I've seen Stoko look like she's having so much fun. Should I start saying her big bro rather than Nini? Big bro? What the heck is a... No, I'll say... Bro? So the sounds cats make? Nini means brother. Stoko's older brother. Stoko's older brother? His name's Satoshi. Haven't you heard his name before? Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. At least he didn't go to our school. Satoshi, huh? Stoko's older brother? That's the first time I've heard of him. She had a brother, huh? Didn't know that. She does have one. Saying that, Rika grinned even more brightly and went Nippa again. When Stoko was with Satoshi, she always looked like she was having fun, just like this. Really has been a long time since I've seen Stoko enjoying herself this much. However I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood, but a good friend, Rika, was saying it was actually the opposite. Is she really enjoying herself? She must be remembering the time she spent with her big bro. It's nostalgic. Nostalgic? Huh. Then does he live apart from Stoko? Maybe Stoko's older brother Satoshi is actually a lot older than her? He must have gone off on his own and was living by himself far away. Stoko seemed like she got along well with this Satoshi person. She did. The two of them got along very well. She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the width of how long they got along. According to Rika, Stoko supported her docile, slightly unreliable brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to the current situation. We had me, unreliable, even to cook a single dish properly, and Stoko, who readed it while scolding me. Could Stoko have been getting a glimpse of her brother who now lived far away through me? So she'd always nitpick whatever Satoshi did, but she formally supported him and they got along well. Today, she was the one. She suggested we should go to Keiichi's house. She said, "There's no way the unreliable Keiichi could possibly make dinner. We need to go there to make it for him." Then she didn't come here to get revenge or get even or anything like that. No, she's a good person. She couldn't leave you alone. Even now, Stoko's a proper little sister. I was an only child. Didn't know how it felt to have siblings. Frustrating, but then terrible things happen and you have to grow up quickly to look after them. That's been my experience. Of course, I've never had a little sister like Stoko, but I felt that in this moment, I was an older brother, obediently and helplessly being looked after by her. Without any teasing or messing around. I'm gonna give her thanks for her trouble. That's what I honestly thought. Keiichi, do you know where on earth the ladle is? Ah, sorry. The ladle should be in the drawer to your right. I ran into the kitchen, got the ladle out of the drawer and offered it to Stoko. It's all done. Have you put the bowls and things out? Yeah, everything's a-okay. Then let us have our meal. Rika, it's time for dinner. Me. I heard Rika's effervescent voice coming from the dining room. Stoko turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted up a pot of miso soup. Could you bring the rice cooker, Keiichi? Be careful not to flip it over, alright? Ah, right, I'll be careful. I can carry rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying like that, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts today. Just wholesome, good dinner-eating fun. I have fucked up my leg somehow, and every way I move it, it hurts, and I'm annoyed. Rice with steam bellowing from it, and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was a truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all or extravagant. It was a daily meal, the sort a housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness. Then let us eat. Thank you for the food. As Toko's command, Rika and I both thanked her in a loud voice. I made light of you, Stoko. You beat me soundly. Oh, do you have a better opinion of me now? I may still not be as good as Rika or Reina, but I can cook far better than the helpless Keiichi. Yeah, I know better now. After I honestly admitted my defeat, Stoko's expression finally softened, and she laughed at me with her normally loud and cheerful voice. Oh, the rice is cooked really well. Though she used the rice cooker, it tasted a little different from the rice Mum made. Maybe she used a different amount of water for it? I tend to undercook rice because I'm bad. Even so, I could feel Stoko's personality from the rice, which made it taste better than usual. The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was still delicious. The side dishes were not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was also appetizing and I couldn't stop eating. Side dishes are well done too. Stoko, you're not a bad cook at all. I gave my honest impression without a hint of sarcasm. Stoko seemed to be expecting some, because when I praised her so honestly, she got flustered and said, "Oh, praise honest me, but it's nothing so grand. Side dishes are just things I bought at the store and heated up. This and this, all I did was open the can. I can only really make rice and miso soup myself." Stoko said, embarrassed, her face a bit flushed. There was none of her usual verbal abuse or sarcasm in there either. I can't make anything except rice and miso soup, but when you get ready-made side dishes and put them on the table too, it turns into something fairly splendid. My mum uses ready-made side dishes and canned dish goods too. It's nothing to be so embarrassed about. This is a fantastic dinner. I gave her honest praise. Never met Stoko's brother, but Satoshi would probably praise her in the same way. Well, I suppose it's enough now that you've come to realise I can hold my own in the kitchen. Would you like seconds? There's plenty of miso soup still left. Huh? Did that rap just awkwardly change the subject? When I realised my response had been on the mark, it made me a little happy. When we eat rice like this, it's fun, like greeting with Satoshi. Rika mentioned Stoko's older brother's name again. Stoko's chopsticks paused and she looked up at the ceiling. How nostalgic. I wonder what he could be doing right now. She had a faraway smile as if yearning for a friend who moved away. From how it looked, I got the impression she hadn't seen Satoshi in some time. Stoko realised I was giving her a blank stare. I do apologise. Satoshi is my... Nini? No. My older brother. Ah, okay. I see. I'm gonna keep using the phrase Nini because it's... I feel like what I'd want to translate it to would be like bro, which, feels odd to say, so I'll keep saying Nini as a nickname. Nini must have been a nickname only Stoko used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it. I was rather surprised a person with such few living skills had the ability to run away. Well, I'm sure he'll pack up shop at some point and return out of the blue. So he ran away? There was another story to what Stoko had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about in such an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I not approach the subject after all? I hastily took a look at Stoko's face after thinking that, but there was no trace of the gloomy expression I'd been worried about. Well, he's not old enough to be dreaming of living on his own. Nini won't be able to do it for long anyway. He has no endurance. Satoshi may not look like it, but he's a very persevering person. He's a lot more persevering than you think. Rika, you always take Nini's side right away. You're a little too nice to him. Stoko's just too harsh on Nini. You should treat him more kindly when he comes back. When? Stoko and Rika's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other, but I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic too. Even though he'd run away from them, it was like they were going to see him again next week. Stoko and Rika both liked Satoshi even now, and waited for him, believing he would surely return. I've never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi was a really good guy. I thought Stoko would be deeply hurt by her brother running away, but she'd already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigour, as if to say that her brother could come back any time he liked. Thought that Stoko didn't think through anything, just frolicked and played practical jokes every day and that was it. But she was really... yeah. Huh? Why are you petting my head? I roughly rubbed a hand through Stoko's hair. Misunderstood you, Stoko. I didn't know you were this level-headed. Stoko seemed to think I was making fun of her and tried to bat away my hand, but then she saw there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face and immediately granted me her head. Yep. Stoko's level-headed. She sure is. I've been level-headed from the start. I was just playing pranks on you because you always do it to me. There was the usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today. You're right, you were just doing it to go along with me. But you really were so level-headed. Good for you. Good for you. Is that actually a compliment? Kinda seems like you're making fun of me. I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. I'm seriously complimenting you. Because if I was making fun of you, Rika would be petting your head too. That's right, isn't it? When Rika makes fun of people, she usually pets their head. These canned sardines are delicious. Rika went nipa, and her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Stoko and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself was so dull and simple that I'd never even thought people like this could be laughing around it. And then I finally came to realise something really obvious. Dinner is better if you're laughing while you're eating, huh? Of course it is. Laughing makes it taste better. How rude. Food is good because I'm a good cook, obviously. This harmonious moment, this happy circle, is completely different than spending time with family, but still somehow nostalgic. Stoko, do you want to see Nini? I didn't say Nini. Call him my brother, please. Hey, wait, you've been seeing Nini this, Nini that, this whole time. Grinned Riley and decided to just call him brother like she told me to. Stoko, do you want to see your brother? Rika stopped eating, then looked back and forth between my face and Stoko's. Stoko was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words. Just from that, Stoko conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he would come home right now, but she wasn't that weak, so she should just do what he wants until he was satisfied. In return, she'd let him have the scolding of his lifetime. And then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his futon for him. Well, of course I want to see him again. It's been almost a year. It's been that long already? Rika smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away. Well, Nini can do what he wants. Would lighten my load if he came back with more muscles and knowing how to do housework, of course. See? You said Nini again. You said it. I did not. Would never call Nini Nini. Nini. Things rapidly returned to the usual lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school, but nothing changed about Stoko's feelings towards her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Satoshi, your sister was trying so hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest and come back soon, got it? Wink, but sad wink. Sad wink. Stoko, it's time to clean up or else we'll just get sleepy. It was when we were watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika let out a big yawn, then spoke. Stoko and I both then looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. Now, perhaps we both realised it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything. Ah, this'll not do. Still haven't washed the dishes yet. Don't worry about it. I can do that much at least. You made a great dinner, so I can't let you do the dishes too. Are you sure you'll be alright? When people who are not used to it try and wash them, the soap can make the dishes slip out their hands, you know? Jeez, she's turned into a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming and awkward. Emotions like this were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile. Keiichi can at least wash dishes. If you break one and hurt yourself, I'll give you pettings at school tomorrow. Rika yawned again, so wide you could see her molars. Me too, buddy. Is it really alright? Keiichi is pretty unreliable, despite how he looks. Give me a break. Looks like Keiichi's approval ratings have plummeted in Stoko's mind. Don't worry, I'll clean those dishes up, no problem. So don't worry about it, and go home. Actually, at this hour, I can't let you two go home by yourselves. I'll take you there. Let me find the key for my bike. Once you've taken us home, Keiichi will be the one going home by himself. You'll be in big trouble if you get lost on the roads at night and end up in Takatsuda. There's no houses or lights out there at all. I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? She really is being critical, but yeah, this feeling I have, it's not bad. So I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw Satoko and Rika to the gate. Thanks a lot for today. Thanks to you, I got a good cultural dinner. If Satoko hadn't come, Keiichi would be growling and yowling right now. Truly, it's really good that we came. You really saved me. I gave them another bow, filled with gratitude. Oh, yes. I put the rice and side dishes into a container, so use that for your bento tomorrow. For breakfast, you can eat some bread and jam. Strawberry jam and peanut butter in your refrigerator, on the middle shelf to the right. Cocoa powder too was in the upper right door of the cupboard. Oh, I know that. You don't have to go into detail. I was about to say that, but I decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realised that Satoko, who'd appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika had said. And that though she nagged a lot, she was very kind. It's a mumsy sort of nagging, where it's the sort of nagging my mum does, where she nags me, but it's not because she's like, get stuff done, you never do anything around the house. It's because she's like, hey, you need to do these, like, you need to eat vegetables or your health will be very bad. And I'm like, no vegetables. Then good night. Make sure to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to do it for at least 5 minutes. I got it, Satoko. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast tomorrow, and I'll be sure not to forget the bento. You need to wake up earlier than usual, or you won't be able to get your breakfast or bento ready. Got it? If you like, I can give you a call a little earlier to wake you up instead of using your alarm clock. You don't have to go that far. I'll set my alarm clock to wake me up a little early. Thanks for being so concerned about me. Satoko looked like she had more fault-finding to do, but she stopped and, leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Rika went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back. What's wrong, Rika? Did you forget something? Keiichi, you get 100 points for today. Clap, clap, clap. Rika suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was she on about? I didn't do anything worthy of praise, did I? I nearly burned down the house after all. Satoko probably felt like her Nini had come home. I think she was having a lot of fun. Once in a while, I want you to go along with Satoko's scolding in the future. Are you telling me to be like an older brother that she can scold instead of Satoshi? Rika didn't say anything. She just smiled and went all Nipa. This Satoshi person. He has such a great little sister. So what was he unhappy about? If I was Satoshi, I would never have run away from home. Satoshi had his own circumstances, I'm sure. I didn't know what he was unhappy with, but whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Satoko. I hope he comes back soon. Probably can't play the role of her actual Nini forever, you know? It's okay. You were just like Satoshi today. Please do it again sometime. That's what would make Satoko happy. I'd take on this easy role whenever I needed to. Rika! Satoko stopped a bike under a distant exterior light and called out to a friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited. Got an email about a game that I don't remember playing ever in the slightest. Okay, I have to go. Good night. Yeah, night. I can't replace Satoshi, but Keiichi could do it. That's one less piece of baggage I need to shoulder. Leaving me with that, Rika sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Satoko, and then the two of them disappeared into the blink of an eye. Satoshi, seriously, come back soon, got it? If you come home really late, I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Satoko. Even though I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles, I stood there for a while, seeing them off. Okay, that was offensively heartwarming. I know one thing for sure. Satoko could fend off an entire army division by holding up in this mountain. I know all about it. Satoko was appointed to the special forces of that one country where she served in instructor training on traps. Stop saying weird things. Keiichi, what about you? Think you can get out of that? Hurry up and get out so you can save this old man. You're the one who should be breaking out and saving me, Mion. What do you expect me to do in this freaking bamboo mat? I was wrapped up in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters above the ground. What was this trap and how did I fall into it? Huh? It was a toko. This all started when they suggested I was unfamiliar with nature, having grown up in the city, and proposed a little exploration on the mountain. But Reina doesn't really know how it is back there either. Sorry, got distracted by thing. Reina might get lost. The mountain out back, huh? I played there a lot when I was little, but I haven't gone there for years. Found the mountain because you'll get lost. It isn't summer vacation yet, so it's alright. We know the path, so there's no need to worry. The mountain has always been our playground, our backyard. We know all the secret paths and shortcuts. Yes, both Tuko and Rika knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had a field of fresh air, gorgeous views of Mother Nature, the likes of which you could never see in the village. But things got strange partway through. Oh yes, everyone, I have something to say. From here on, you must follow exactly where I go. Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden? It would be safer to do as Toko says. Oh my! Hey, Mion, look at this! What is it? Should I pull it? Should I? Suddenly, squeak, crash. When Reina pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came raining down with a clatter right next to where Rika was standing. Wow! What is this? What? What? Ah! That brings back memories. Soko made this trap in the second semester of 2nd grade. That was a close one. The tips of the spears are covered in dog poo, so if one of them hurts you, the wound will start to fester. When did this turn into some guerrilla battlefield? According to Stoko and Rika, earlier in elementary school, Stoko had been on a trap-making craze and set them up along every inch of this mountain. Keiichi, maybe they didn't tell they even become dangerous for me. But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain. Why was an average healthy Japanese boy like me being forced to deal with life-threatening booby traps? And then, the very moment Stoko and Rika got just out of sight was when all 3 of us got caught in a nice little trap together. Someone get me out. I have to go to the bathroom. Never mind that. Somebody get the bucket off me. Can't see in front of me. Oh, wait, Reina, don't struggle around so much. I can see your... Oh, you saw? You saw? Keiichi, you saw? Smash, crash, bash. Of course you can see him. You may be in a bucket, but you can definitely... Bucket Reina was using me as a sandbag and Mion was crying. You can't get out of the pitfall? How sad, how sad. Jeez, didn't I already tell you all? You weren't supposed to leave my side. Finally had an epiphany. Stoke had been so bent on taking everyone out to the mountain because she wanted to brag about all the traps she'd set up here over the years. Could have stopped at just showing them to us. Didn't need to experience how it felt first-handed. Rika pets our 3 heads in sequence in an incredibly satisfied mood. Incredible. The next one is called Trials and Tribulations. Clear conscience wins the day. Okay. Anyway, lunchtime has finally arrived. Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch. Oh ho! Lunchtime at last. Someone here will have to play the punishment game, yes? Oh, punishment this time. It's a little scary, so... Sorry, but Reina went all out on making her bento. In Reina's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously. We tried our hardest too. Stoko and Rika made separate lunches today. Usually you have the same bento, but that won't do for the showdown today, will it? Yes, it's quite alright. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones. Wow, Stoko and Rika both tried really hard. How exciting! What's a little surprising is that Keiichi was able to make a bento. Good job, Keiichi. Looks like you really can do it if you try. I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento spiked too much. It's just the leftover rice and side dishes from last night. Leftovers are the foundation of bento. Oh, now we'll know if your dinner last night... You'll know your dinner lasted up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I finally understood Toko and Rika's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. However, Club President Mion Sonozaki would not be convinced in judgment. Okay, everyone, assemble! Mion commanded everyone who just started eating using her Club President voice. Come and charge our 5 bento. Write your favourite 3 on a piece of paper and submit, just like New Year's food. Can't be. It has to be a lie. She must have switched the contents with a catered bento. Such purely Japanese cooking? Mion Sonozaki couldn't possibly make this. Don't understand nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked. If I may say, you've done it again. This should get quite a high score. I should have known. It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from. Amazing as always. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their notepaper at the same time. Seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. Yes, I will now reveal mine. Come to think of it, Stoke and Rika ate with me last night at my house. Impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lunts. A few people struck by just that once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their notepaper. Stoko, Rika, you both made really good bentos today. They might not measure up to Reina or Mion's craftsmanship, but when you think about that, they're pretty amazing. Stoko and Rika glanced at each other and grinned happily. This is a secret, okay? Ah? What? When Stoko told me and Rika hadn't made bento today, a bold move, they got Tomitaka and Okamura to share their bentos with them. Hey, Tomitaka, Okamura, how'd they buy you out? What are you saying, Meibara? Why did we get bought out for what? That's right. It's not like we traded them our duty watering the garden for half the bentos. Curse you, Stoko. What an impudent trick. Stoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines, and laughed in triumph. Well, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi. Ho-ho. I mean, it's true, though. Yes, ho-ho. How naive, buying them out with watering duty. Mion clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. It's my favourite way to play these games, is just skim over all the dialogue that's, like, weird. Not the, like, we're trying to be funny, it's slapstick creepy, that I don't want to say out loud. Just skip past that. Alright, next up is Keiichi's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday, but how did it really turn out? Keiichi can do it if he needs to. Reina was really excited for today. They're all looking forward to it, but it's really just leftovers from dinner from last night. Didn't even make it either. How is that supposed to stand up to Mion and Reina and the others? That's it. Feast your eyes on this. Ha! I told the little, you know? I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher. But for the showdown, it doesn't matter. Hoo-hoo! Alright, Keiichi, if you have any last words before we tally up the results, I'll listen to them. If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be able to worm out the punishment game. Oh. You're implying that Keiichi's bento is going to take last place, aren't you? No, this old man wasn't trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything. Mion cackled repulsively. Contrast to Toko's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that's he did all that grandstanding yesterday, well aware of that. I don't think there's any reason to go one easy on him, do you? Right, Stoko? Yes, you are right. And he came here with this mess? I see. To turn your failures at cooking due to a lack of skill into scars of hard work instead? As I thought, I cannot falter around this man. That's right, I lack skill. I'm so bad at cooking that my grandstanding yesterday was pitiful, but I began to beam loudly at his remark. Not even Okamura was panicking. Order, order. Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks? Your Honour, in order to prove I lose the initiative at this rate. Objection. This matter regards the spirit put into the bento. It is entirely different from other presents, as they are in unique situations. Overruled. Will the prosecution please continue? Damn. Now then, what's important here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver are totally different. Between the handmade sweater that looks like wear it. Gift certificate, right? It's 10,000 yen. 10,000. Can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that? You could instantly complete a full collection. The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. Ugh, they're all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over the sweater in that case. I would choose it because it's something I'd actually use. It's the new trolley problem. The present problem. Hey, wait, weren't you guys the ones who said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did taste trump? That's the stance they were taking now. I believe this has demonstrated that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver have no causal relationship. Yes, no matter how much Maybara struggled to make this mentor. That cannot enter into today. Last place goes to Rika Furude. Whoa. Miraculous turnaround. And last place went to Rika, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild. Showed us your burns, I guess? I mean, there's nothing in your bento that you needed oil for. Reina, don't you think you're misunderstanding something? I didn't do anything. Huh? Smile so happily. What is it, Keiichi? You've been smirking for quite a while now. Is it weird for me to look happy? It isn't weird or anything, but, well, sound of the motor on a bike light was too loud and I couldn't hear what Stoko said. Huh? What? What did you say? Nothing. You really are just like Mimi, you know? Keiichi? Is that right? Of course, you're completely different from my real Mimi. But, like, there's things that you do the same. It's really a mystery. The same. Do you feel lonely when you remember Mimi? Once I said that, I thought for a moment that was absolutely the wrong thing to say, but Stoko didn't seem to mind one bit. It's not that I'm lonely, since Keiichi's being my Nini for me right now. Well, you know... Is that what you think? Please don't take offence. Rika is strangely considerate of me, but it really doesn't bother me that much. Could say for sure that, at least, was a lie. Yesterday and today, Stoko had been so happy spending time like this with me as siblings, and that was proof itself that she was lying about it not getting to her, so I gave Stoko a light poke in the head. You're thinking too much, dummy. I'm me, Keiichi Maybara. I'm not your Nini, not Satoshi Hojo. I know that. Despite saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Stoko herself had realised the question meant the wrong thing to say. We didn't need to keep talking about something that Stoko regretted, so in order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Stoko's head and pet her. Let's not talk about silly things like that. It's getting late, so get back home, brush your teeth and go to bed. And rinse your mouth before sleeping too. It'll keep you from getting a cold. You'll want to talk, Nini. Be sure to brush your teeth, okay? Rinse your mouth and wash your hands, then get your books ready tomorrow, and... I wonder what kind of siblings Satoshi and Stoko were. Never seen them together, but I could say without a doubt that they were really close. And as for the way in which they were close, probably quite like this. It was so cool that the day's heat seemed like a lie, and yet the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects was pleasing to the ears. We'll see. Sorry, I was looking at the, trying to get a feel for what, the next chapter would be like mood-wise. Could see Tomitaka and Okamura walking over to the gym storehouse. They needed to get the bag of flying used to make the lines on the courts for our next gym class. They're on duty today after all, but in that storehouse, a terrible trap was awaiting them. Being on this side of the trap for once is really thrilling. Oh, if you realise that the true pressure is in setting up traps, then you have the potential in yourself, Keiichi. The two of them fumbled around the gym storehouse's log. Oh, what's this? Okamura pointed at part of the door and started whispering to Tomita. Then, realising something, they both jumped away from the door. Oh, Stoko, I think they found out. Strap on the door, they'll go around and try and get in through the back window. And just as you prophesied, they went around to the back. And just as you prophesied, they climbed up, opened the window, and tried to sneak in. I think I'm actually